Yo guys, what's going on? Robert Warshack here, and we're going to be going over a full review of all of the new Cataclysm cards. We just got done streaming about 12 hours in the new theory crafting stream, where we played with most and saw pretty much all of the cards played by other streamers and content creators and news media and all that good stuff. So now that we have a good idea of all the cards that are in the expansion, along with seeing them played, I think we can come up with a good review of how powerful they're going to be. I don't like reviewing cards until I see all of the cards and also play with the cards, because reviewing before any of that happens is, in my opinion, fucking pointless and a waste of your time. So now that we actually have an adequate representation of what's, I think, going to be good, we'll take a look. I also forgot to include, I'll be doing one mega bundle giveaway and one standard bundle giveaway to 2 random people who comment, subscribe to this channel, and leave a like on this video. So be sure to enter into that, as it's super easy, helps the channel out, and I can give back to you guys courtesy of Blizzard. I'll be picking those winners 2 or 3 days before the new expansion comes out, so definitely keep an eye on your responded to comments and the channel post page, which I will be announcing the winner, and then obviously reaching out to those people directly. Let's take a look at the reviews and take a look at all the new cards, and also I'll be posting all of the games that we played with all of the new decks in the coming days, so feel free, of course, to check those out, as we had some absolutely banger games to go over. So first things first, we're going to take a look at Death Knight. Blackwing Experiment is a 2-mana 3/1 death rattle. Get a 2-cost spell that deal damage based on this minion's attack. We actually played against, it wasn't Chump, it was Mark Merks, and he played some diabolical shit because his whole deck was based around increasing this guy's attack through hand buffs and then the passive hero power. And he got himself like a 2-mana deal 13 damage spell. And then he had some other schmunklau, which generated some additional schmunklau, which shit on me. So while I don't particularly think this card is going to be that popular, if you're Mark Merks and you're verse Warshack, and I have what people call me the best RNG man, it's actually it's a 100% win rate, you see. But in actuality, the card seems okay, but not as good as it looked in the game versus me. We have the Commanding Claw. After your hero attacks, give a friendly random minion +2 attack. Again, one of the things he played in his deck to juice up this card to make it do more damage. It's actually not too bad because it's a 2-mana 2/2, so it's a deal 4, and then this is another 4 on top of this if the minion can attack. And remember, it can land on the hero power as well. So I don't actually think this is a bad weapon. It just goes into a really particular deck. So we have a 3-mana 3/3 Battlecry. Give a minion in your hand and battlefield attack equal to this. Again, goes in the hand buff deck. The more attack this has, it can give it off onto something like this or the hero power. There's a lot of combinations of being able to swap stats after it's been buffed that makes this card very, very good. And there's also just a lot of cards that like duplicate themselves, like the spider and the 2/2 that it can be used on. So 4-mana 2/5 Undead Dragon Rush. Whenever this attacks, refresh mana crystal equal to this minion's attack. I didn't see this card played at all, but again, it fits into the give this minion more attack. You play it, you attack, you get back your mana crystals, so essentially it's free. I think the problem with this card is you have to do the Frost Unholy, which again, you would probably be Frost because of this if you're playing that buff deck anyway, and then you have the one Unholy because you're probably playing this weapon anyway. So I mean, it makes sense that you would play this dragon in the deck, but it's one of the cards I actually didn't see any of today in the theory crafting event. But it doesn't actually look that bad, especially if as long as it gets +2 attack, it pays for itself, and it's a 0-mana 4/5 with rush. So I really don't see how this card would be like bad. We have the Technician. This is obviously found in Herald decks, specifically the Death Knight Herald. The lifesteal is actually really useful, and the fact that it has 5 health is also useful. It doesn't feel great in the early game because let's say you play this on turn 4, and most of the time you're just getting like some really terrible minion off too, which is the Herald effect. When summoned, to get a random 2-cost minion, it's cost health this turn, and then when you upgrade this, you get a 4-cost. So like it's
baby time, baby.
Appreciate the sub, Syntax. Appreciate the 9. Oh my god, we had a baby. 9 months, 9 long hearts. But yeah, it's okay. It really just depends on the minions. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad, but this card is better than expected, even though it's like a 2/5. It's just, it guaranteed pretty much lives if you played on 4 because of the 5 health. We have Victor. So this card is actually really cool. We played this in our Herald Dragon Death Knight. The problem with this card is when you don't draw this card, So after I think I played for 2 hours and I probably, I don't know, 10, 15 games with Death Knight, I think I drew this card twice and played it once. However, when I played it, it was good and it is cool. However, you have to draw the card to play the card, which just didn't happen. This is another Herald card. This is found in all the Herald decks. So it's just a 5-mana 5/4 Battlecry Herald. If you're playing a Deathwing deck, you are going to be playing this. So it's just one of those things. It's okay. Obviously, the more you Herald, the more powerful it becomes. So in the early game on curve, probably not the greatest, but you know, turn 7 to 10 when you've heralded and it's like upgraded on the second or third level, it's pretty powerful. All right, we have Palangi's Last Stand. Give your minions Death Rattle, summon a random 4-cost minion. This card was played 0 amounts and probably bad. All right, we have the experimental I can't fucking read animation. Herald Onyxia, deal 4 damage to all enemy minions. Obviously, playing a Herald deck, you run 2 of these. It's like a less expensive, less damage Flame Strike. It's okay. It's nothing special. Yeah, we lost Corpse Explosion for this. All right, we have the Dragon Guy, Ultra Dixon, Ultra Exon, Ultra. He's a 6-mana 6/7, so stats are pretty good. His battle cry is you Herald Onyxia, which is whatever the card in your deck, and then you reduce Deathwing's cost by 1, and then every time you Herald before you play this, it improves it, so you discount by more. If you're playing a Herald deck, this is an auto-include. It's really, really good, and also you could play like Cloud Serpent if you're interested in duplicating your dragons to be able to discount, because not only does this Herald, it discounts your Deathwing, and we actually had a absolutely disgusting game against one of our friends where we had a 0-mana Deathwing. So this card good, especially when you get Dark Gift Battlecry trigger twice and it's already at -4 or 5. Chowdown, never saw it played, doesn't matter. Onyxia, super fucking fun. So this is a 9-mana 3/6 Colossal +2, so you get 2 sides. And then the wings, when summoned, get a random 2-cost minion. It costs health this turn, and then you upgrade this. So, and then the effect of the dragon is when your hero would lose health, you gain it. So you upgrade obviously to 8, you get 2 8 drops, you play both 8 drops for free, and you gain 16 life along with their effects. So you get a 9-mana 3/6, you get 2 4/4s, and then you also get 2 8 drops, and then you also heal for 16. What's cool about this card is it's an undead dragon, which means you can use the 4-mana card, the Manifesto, to bring it back, because the wings say when summoned, and they summon when you summon a Colossal. And you can also bring this with Cloud Serpent, copy it. So you can do some quite nutty things with that. And then we have Deathwing, which is the point of the Herald decks. 10 mana, 12 armor, very, very good. And then you get +5 attack as the new hero power for 2 mana. And then depending on how many times you heralded, you get anywhere between 1, 2, and 4 of these effects, which is summon a 12/12, destroy the highest health enemy minion, deal 4 damage to all enemy minions, and shuffle 5 random legendary dragons into your deck. They cost 1, and then there's the 12/12. So obviously heralding once is bad. If you play him, 2 is okay, and then 4 is his max value. He's a very good card. 12 armor, a lot of armor. And the fact that you can discount him with the card that we just covered over here. So if you just herald a lot in the early game and you play this on 5 or 6 and discount by 4, you can get him down on turn like 7. And if you've got like 2 heralds on him and you make a 12/12, it's very, very, very powerful. So Herald DK was one of the decks I saw the most of today and performed very, very well. We got a word from our sponsor. He's losing his mind at the moment. Would you like to remind our viewers that in order for Duders to get good Christmas with his girlfriend, we should sub, like, and comment on every video. Make sure we watch them all. Even if you don't want to, you put it on mute or low volume. Keep it rolling. Keep that time engagement high. Duders is happy. I know he looks like a stuffed animal. I promise he's real. Hi, buddy. Oh, look at the leg go up immediately. What a good boy. So taking a look at some Demon Hunter, this was actually another deck that did really, really well against me, and when we played it, it did well, and it was actually really, really fun. So we have a decent amount of fell spells, which you want to keep track of when we take a look at the location later. So we have a 1-mana fell spell, Sigil of the Seas. At the start of your next turn, summon a 3/3 Naga with Taunt. It's very, very good. A 1-mana summon a 3/3 is solid, again, and it's a fell spell. We have the Last Stand, which is 2 mana, deal 1 damage to all minions, draw a card for each that died. Again, this is very, very good because we actually played against Maxibon. He's consistently a top 10 legend streamer. And this card was used against me numerous times to be able to deal 1 or 2 damage, to be able to clear the board, and then he drew like 6+ cards. So very, very good card. We have the Fell Infusion. This is part of the Herald. Your hero has lifesteal this turn, and then obviously you Herald. Lifestealing your hero power is really good because the whole point of the deck is hitting your opponent in the face with your face, whether you have a weapon or you played like some other buffing of the face abilities. It's very, very nice. Also, the Colossal gives your hero Wind Fury, which you can get basically full health off of that. We have the 3-mana 3/1 Rush Battlecry Herald. You just play this in a Herald deck. Again, very good. We have the choose a Fell spell in your hand, get a copy of it. I didn't play this in my deck, but you can randomly generate this off this ability. So after you cast a Fell spell, get a random Naga. It costs 1. So this is kind of the whole like reason you'd play the Fell spells in your Herald deck, is because you have this 3-mana location with 5 durability, and it's deal 1 damage. You get to pick. And then after you cast a Fell spell, you reopen this, and then you get to summon this card. I thought this card just went to your hand. It actually just plays this 6/6. So you like, you just get this card on the board after dealing 5 damage. Fell spells are easy. You play Fell spells and you get 1-mana Nagas, and there's 1-mana Nagas that copy Fell spells. Keep in mind, the Colossal is also a Naga. And keep in mind, this says bring it with 1 mana. It costs 1. So you could do some absolutely diabolical shit with this location. And I think you could probably get away with playing this in the all-spell Demon Hunter as well as the Heralded one. Obviously, the Herald, you're going to play minions because there's minions that have Herald on them. But in the non-spell, it just runs a bunch of Fell spells, which then you could just get the Nagas. It doesn't matter if you're Herald, you're just getting 1-mana Colossus. So that's really good. Envoy of the End, we went over it. It's, again, just the neutral. Any deck. So with these Heralds, it's very similar to like Imbue or Galakron cards, where like they're in other decks, you know, they share like classes. Flash Flood is really good when it comes off of your studies, the Illidari studies, because it's a 5-mana, deal 5 damage to your opponent's left and right most minions, and then outcast, do it again. So it's dealing 5 damage to 4 minions if it's outcasted, and if you studies, it costs 4. So very, very powerful card. We have the 6-mana 5/5, costs 1 less for each spell you play this game. This again just probably comes off the location card. We have this, which obviously we've been over. We have the Ocean King, which is the Colossal for Demon Hunter. It's the 8-mana 8/8 +2, and then your hero has Wind Fury, and then her pieces have, when summoned, your hero has +1 attack, and then the other one is like +2 attack, and then the final one is +4 attack. So you could give +4/+4, which is 8. It has Wind Fury, 16 minimum. 16 minimum. And if you have like a 2-mana Herald again, you can summon another 4, bring that up to 12, and now you're at 24 attack. And it has lifesteal. So you just like swing, and you heal for 24 and deal 24 for 10, which is very, very, very good. Also, her signature is super sick. We have the Dread Leviathan, which is taunt Battlecry, choose an enemy minion, and to steal 3 health from 3 times. I don't know why this is... it's a card. And then, of course, Deathwing, which you play in the Herald deck. All right. So let's take a look at Druid here. We have the Triumph, a 1-mana, shuffle 5, random minions in your deck that cost 8 or more, double their stats. I actually saw nobody play this. I'm sure it goes into some deck that's going to do some diabolical shit, but did not see that today. Cannot speak on it. It's obviously very random. We did see the Cub today. So Funky Monkey played this against me today. It was a 1-mana 1/2. Whenever you spend your last mana crystal, gain 1/1. This is actually really good if you have coin and you're obviously playing a token deck. So turn 1, you play this. Turn 2, you play a 2-drop. You coin. You play a 1-drop. And this just got +2/+2 and scales really, really fast. So obviously in a token deck, it's really good. Early game, it's very good. Later game, not so good. It is strictly like one of those gibberling cards that just like, if they have the nuts, he just does the thing. This card's actually very interesting, the Treant. So this is a 2-mana 2/2 Battlecry, gain a temporary mana crystal. If you spend 4 more mana while holding this, it's permanent. Very good card. I think this card is very solid, and it can be played in a variety of Druid decks, whether it is the aggro Druid, the mid-range Druid, or the like slower ramp Druid. Obviously, it's ramp built into a minion. You just have to play mana in front of it. So, like, on turn 2, you're not just playing this card. You play this card on, like, turn 3 or 4 alongside, like, a 1-drop. You have the Forest Gift, which is give a friendly minion +1 friend for each minion you control. This is one of those kind of like win more cards. I didn't see it played today, but obviously if you have a big board and then you buff that board, you get a lot more out of it. The thing is, you need a board, and if you already have a board, you're probably winning that game anyway, and you should be casting a spell that gives some death rattle, drawing you cards, or you're just like winning more. For 2 mana, it seems okay. Maybe it's really good, but I didn't see it today, and I would assume you'd want to do other things. 2 mana, summon 2 1/2 golems, spend all your mana to give them +1 for each mana spent. This is a good card. Obviously, this is going to be played in the token druid, and it seems solid. The Wildwood Circle. It's a 3 mana shatter, summon 2/2/2 treants, give your minions death rattle, summon a 2/2 treant. We actually got this in Rogue, and it was quite funny because we were able to summon treants after our minions died, and we ended up winning. Obviously, in some sort of like token deck, this is going to be solid, with the top end being like probably 5 mana or 4 mana. So being able to get this out and then give your entire board, like I said, death rattle instead of just juicing a single minion that's probably going to die or get frozen to like a mage is better. So seems okay. Again, token druid is not really where I want my druids to be. I don't like token druid. I never really have. I think it's not that fun of a deck. I like treant druid. It seems a little bit more fun, and treants go with tokens, but we've just seen like a lot of just aggro druid, especially with that quest, and the quest never lined up with what druid was. So druid's just been in a weird spot for a while, and they've done some like weird stuff with like owl OTK and like maybe some ramp with the discount card at the bottom, but really never anything too crazy. Broadwatcher, Battlecry, get 2 3/3 whelps with taunt. If you spend 8 mana while holding this, summon them. I can't say I saw this card. Oh yeah, everybody yelled at me because I said the broad on the like the Zerg cards wrong when I was doing that. You know what? The thing is, I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I'll just call it the Watcher. Sucks. 5 mana, 4/5 elusive. At the end of your turn, give your other minions +1/+1. Brood. Who knows, man? No one really knows. I don't know. It's a card. Wicker Fang, Colossal. Never saw this card either. 6 mana, 0/5. After one of the fangs dies, gain its stats. And at the end of the turn, gain +1/+1/+1/+1. So it's just like a stat builder. I'm assuming it's good. All the Colossals are good. I just didn't see it played today, so I can't really speak on it. But obviously, it's probably pretty strong. There's this card. This card is bad. I know a lot of people hype this shit up. This card's like not good. 8 mana, 4/12. Battlecry for your hand with random dragons. If you spent 25 mana while holding this, they cost 1, 25 left. So the thing about this card is the fact that they're random dragons. They're not legendary dragons. Most dragons, think of it as an Alfonso. You spend the entire game juicing Alfonso for it to give you like the worst dragons you've ever seen in your life, especially if you haven't spent 25 mana. They don't cost 1. It's the card's just like very, very slow. If you happen to randomly generate it and it happens to be 1 mana and you happen to spend 25 mana and it just happens to give you a crazy dragon's cool, but you're never building a deck around that card. All right, 2 Hunter. Set an enemy minion's health to 1. If you're holding a dragon, pick another. Very good card. This is like insanely sick. This is a 1 mana, like, I don't want to say equality, but like you get to set 2 minions health to 1 for 1 mana. Obviously, you're playing this in a dragon deck or a deck with dragons in it, so very solid. You have a 1 mana 2/2 elusive, not terrible. Probably found in aggro. You have a 2 mana, deal 3 damage. If you played another copy of this, hit all enemies instead. That's like very, very good, especially when you can discover this card with the Elise cards or other Hunter cards. So seems very, very, very solid. We have a 3 mana, replay each 1 cost card you played this game, targeting enemies if possible. Again, we have a decent amount of 1 cost cards, and the fact that it says target enemies is very, very good. I think that that actually seems really solid. Obviously, the more expansions and mini set releases happen, the more 1 cost cards Hunter will get. So I don't know right now how good this will be, but I can promise you this card will probably play. We have a 3 mana 3/3 taunt. While in hand, play a dragon, become a 6/6 dragon. 3 mana 6/6 taunt. If you play a dragon, seems pretty good, especially when you have a lot of dragon synergy cards. And thank God this card is not a dragon. I swear to God, if they printed a 1 mana 2/2 dragon and then they just fucking went into a fucking 3 mana 6/6 dragon for free, I would be pissed. We have a 3 mana 3/2 Battlecry. Choose a card in your hand at the start of your turns, reduce its cost by 1. That's actually not the worst thing I've seen. This seems okay in like a mid-range Hunter. It's a little slow, but turn 6 you minus something by 3 seems reasonable. The Shatter card is weird. Draw 3 minions, give minions in your hand +2/+2. I mean, that's a lot. And again, they get split. So one's just draw 3 and the other's like give minions in your hand +2/+2. You have to pay 8 But if they combine, it's 4, which is solid. Scout, 6 mana 4/4 battle cry, deal damage equal to this minion's attack while in hand. Play a dragon to become an 8/8 dragon, and then it's a 6 mana 8/8 battle cry. Deal damage equal to this minion's attack. Again, I didn't see any dragon hunter today, so I can't speak to its power. But you know, it seems okay. Again, the more powerful this stuff will get, the more dragons and expansions comes. Like, we know that there's no more Herald coming, so like Herald is as strong as it's gonna get in regards to Herald cards. So it's probably where most people are going to gravitate to, but this stuff may get better over time. Dragons have rush this game. A lot of the stuff had rush anyway, so it feels like this is a little weird. And then if you play a dragon, become a 12/12, it just seems like with the hunter deck, it's like mid-range hunter, but instead of beasts, you're just playing dragons. And then when you play a dragon, you juice the dragons, you know what I mean? So yeah, hopefully it's not good, because it's strictly just play minion deck. It is strictly just play minions. They have rush, trade, they're super statted, and if your opponent can't deal with it, the hunter obviously just wins. And then we have the Colossal 99 7 mana 2/12, and then summon any leftover appendages when there is room, and then Death Rattle, give a random friendly minion +2 attack. This seems really annoying. I'm not gonna lie, this seems very strong. It is like the Hydra back when, with the heads, where they have 3/1 and they attack, and then it summons 2 more heads. It's like that on steroids, because each, like, summon any leftover appendages when there is room forever, and they just keep giving +2 attack. So, and it has 12 health. That's a lot of health. And it has 7 mana is not, you know, it's not 8, it's 7. Seems powerful. All right, Mage. Mage was by far, in my opinion, the strongest deck that I saw going into today and playing against, only because it killed everybody so fast. By turn 4 to 5, every time I played against this spell power mage deck, I was dead. However, it's because every single mage today, I played 9 mages. They played this card on turn 4, every mage, every time. So I don't know. I can't speak to the deck if this card isn't drawn on turn 4 and played. But if it is, they win 9 out of 9 times. So let's take a look at Mage. So we have this 1 mana, deal 2 damage, which can go face, and then deal 1 damage to a random enemy minion. Both of these scale with spell power. So obviously, if you're playing the new 1 mana 1/3 guy that increases spell power +2, all of a sudden this is deal 4 and then deal 3 to a random enemy minion. So they're hitting your face and killing your minions at the same time. We have the 1 mana 1/2 whelp. Discover a 1 cost spell from any class. Probably does damage. Scales with that. This Rain Caller is insane. It's a 2 mana 1/4 elemental, and in the first time you deal damage with a spell each turn, you get +2 attack. This is infinite. So 2 mana, play it, play a spell. It's a 2 mana 3/4. It stays. Then it's a 5/4. Then it's a 7/4. It just keeps growing. Very, very good card. Probably one of the, like, the, it's a mana worm on steroids, because it has 4 health on turn 2, and it gives +2 attack. And mana worm was just 1 attack for every spell. So it's just like, you get, it's just good. It's fucking insane. Card's cracked. We have a 3 mana 3/4 battle cry. Choose a spell in your hand, split it into 2 random spells at the same cost. The card's terrible. Why would you play that? We have Arcane Flow, which is actually an insane shatter card. This is a 4 mana shatter, deal 4 damage, and then deal 2 damage to all enemies. Most of the time in this mage deck, I think it caps out as like 6 mana, and there's only like 1 card in there at 6. So most of the time you're just like playing all of your burn, all of your cards all the time, and then you have a shit ton of draw in the deck. And you just have run a bunch of shatter cards that have insane abilities. And then if you play the 4/4, this is deal 5 and then 3 to everything. So you're playing like mini flame strikes and fireballs for 4 mana. It's diabolical. And then this card is like 4 mana 4/4, give all spells in your hand and deck +1 spell damage. That's just insane. Play this on turn 4, win games. We have this other card, which is a 4 mana 2/5 elemental, spell damage +1 battle cry. If you dealt damage with a spell this turn, summon a copy of this. So you get a 4/10 +2 spell power for 4 mana. And if you played the other card, it's 3. Which means everything's doing like 6 to 7 damage and doing like 4 to 5 damage to everything on your opponent's side. Mage, it just goes, it's insane. And then we have this card, a 5 mana, deal 8 damage to a minion, reduce the cost of a random card in your hand by the excess damage. If this is doing 10 and you're killing something that has 5, you're reducing something by 5, which is like a fireball. So you're just killing a minion and playing a 0 mana fireball for free anyway. So this is just assume this kills something and you're just playing another spell for free. I didn't actually see anybody play this, but it's a 7 mana 4/8 colossal +2 at the end of your turn, deal 2 damage to all other minions. Again, all other minions, and it doesn't go face. I don't know how you can make the other colossals and then make this and then like be on the same team. But yeah, that's, yeah. 10 mana, summon a 6/6 dragon, costs 1 less for each damage you dealt with spells this turn. This is 1 to 0 mana. This was played against me, at least 1 or 2 of them by turn 5, and it costs 1 if not 0 mana. So very good. Like it's a very good. The whole deck is burned, so you're just getting this for free, truly. We have the Paladin Giblin's Triumph. Get a random Paladin aura. It lasts an additional turn. I think I saw this played. All the auras are good, especially the ramp aura and the one that makes like the end turn effects trigger twice for 1 mana. Very solid. I don't see why you wouldn't play that in Aura Paladin. Chamber of Aspects, 0 times today. Inspecting Maw, did see it played. It was pretty good. It's a 2 mana 2/2 Death Rattle, trigger a random friendly minion end turn effect. You have quite a few end turn effects, so make sure it's a friendly minion, and it has to be an end turn effect. It's not a Death Rattle effect. So I saw this played in No Hands' deck, and he was running the 4 mana 2/1, and it was a Death Rattle summon the 7/7 big Divine Shield guy, and not proc that. So it's an end turn effect, which doubles with if you have the aura out, which we will right here. Your minions end turn effects trigger twice. So if you trigger a end turn effect with this, it'll trigger twice. And earlier, I think Funky Monkey, he made like 4 8/8s against me on turn like 5 because he hit the juicer and buffed it. And then the end turn effect with the maul and this aura just made a bunch of 8/8s and I just lost. And I'm extracting. All right. We're loading in.
Fight for the future. Fight for the future.
What the hell is this? Flight maneuvers, 4 mana shatter. I hate shatter, but it's what we got. Summon 2 4/2 drakes and then give your minions +1/+1 and divine shield. Obviously, if you get the shatter on it, it's good. If you don't, it's bad. At the end of your turn, get a random holy spell, reduce its cost by 3. This is a really good card. If it lives for 2 turns, getting discounts by 6 is very, very, very solid. And again, it's the end turn effect, so depending on what you have out, you can get multiple holy cards. Again, another end turn effect. At the end of your turn, summon a dragon with stats equal to this minion. If you juice this minion stats up, whether it's in your hand or on the board, and then you have the end turn effect, you can just absolutely destroy your opponent with shit. This is another insane card found in the Divine Shield deck. It's the 5 mana 4/4 at the end of your turn. Give your minions Divine Shield, and then ones that already have Divine Shield get +3/+3. There is a ton of minions with Divine Shield. There is a ton of ways to give minions Divine Shield, and then there's a ton of synergy with minions getting Divine Shield and then buffing them, summoning more minions. So Divine Shield Paladin is going to be a problem, and I know I'm gonna hate it. I hate it because it's going to be a smooth brain deck, boys. This is going to be a smooth fucking brain. They're going to play the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5. Everything's going to have Divine Shield. And if you don't deal with it, it's all going to get +3/+3. So yeah, I see it now. It's something, boys. We have the 6 mana 3/6 at the end of your turn, deal 2 damage to all enemies. It's actually really, really solid. Again, it says all enemies, which means it's consecration on a stick. Consecration already costs 4 mana, so you're getting a 3/6 out of the deal, and it's very good. This card is very, very good. And then we have, of course, the Colossal for Paladin, which is a 8/8 +4 taunt, lifesteal, elusive, divine shield, and then each one of the pieces, when it dies, this main body loses the ability, right? So they kill the divine shield one, the main body loses divine shield. It's just a whole bunch of stats that with a whole bunch. It's just an annoying thing. They play this, they have to kill all of it, and if they don't, they lose. So yeah, very good. Priest. So Priest, I didn't see too much of Priest today, honestly. We played some against No Hands. We played some all spell, or no, not all spell, quest. And then I believe there was one more person. Priest did not look good. I don't want to spend too much time on this because it's Priest. Mend, probably a good card. was going to need the right deck. Ruby Sanctum is going to be found in an OTK deck, but it's going to take at least like a week to find that OTK deck or a new expansion. But this card 100% is going to be nerfed. This is going to go to 2 mana and 2 durability. This doesn't matter. This is going to be really annoying when it gets randomly generated because it's a 3 mana 3/8 with lifesteal. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. I guess it does, but I mean, doesn't matter. This card was actually pretty good. It's a 5 mana, deal 4 damage to all minions. Cost 1 if you control legendary cards. This is a 1 mana, deal 4 to everything. That's pretty fucking good for 1 mana in a priest deck that doesn't really do anything because priests don't do anything. So yeah, I'm sure they fucking wet their pants dealing one mana, deal 4 damage to everything. Well, they don't have a board. They don't do anything. They just sit there and do nothing. All right, we have the 7 mana card, which is actually quite interesting. I like this card a lot. Set your remaining health to 15, and then when you reach full health, deal 15 damage to your opponent. So you can use this to heal, or you can use this to go down and then to heal up, and then you can do some damage. Having a win condition is good. Priest win condition is your opponent's just annoyed. I didn't see this card at all today. It's a 7 mana 4/8 colossal +3 after you restore health to a character, attack a random enemy minion. I don't really know. Like, it's a thing that does stuff, and it's a slippery fella. So sure. Moving to Rogue. All right, so we played a lot of Rogue. We played against a lot of Rogue. This card was played a lot. I personally don't like this card. It's a 1 mana 2/1 battlecry. Choose a card in your hand and transform it into a coin. The reason I don't like this card is because the cards I play in my deck, I hope, are good. So I don't really want to change the cards in my hand to other things that aren't those cards, because I would just play other cards besides those cards if I didn't want those cards. I'm sure this card is good, but I personally just didn't really find it super useful. This card also not super useful. 2 mana tradable, destroy a legendary minion. You could just play other cards that do other things. I thought one of them might be interesting because I figured everybody would be playing Colossals today, but it didn't end up mattering. Red at Twilight. If you're playing a Herald deck, you obviously run all of the Herald cards. It's a 2 mana Herald and then deal 3 damage to whatever you want. It's a shadow card. It's pretty good. We have the Daze. I didn't see this played at all. I'm probably not going to play it. It's kind of a worse sap. Return an enemy minion to its owner's hand, and then they can't play it the next turn. Maybe it's good. A lot of the minions right now, whether they're Colossals, you don't really want to return those to the enemy's hand, right? A lot of the best cards in the game are Battle Cries or Colossals, and returning that to your opponent's hand is bad, especially for 3 mana, because they're just getting it back and they're probably going to play it again. Again, one of the Herald cards. It's a little slow in my opinion, but it's okay. There's not really much to say about this. You kind of just have to play it. The Stolen Power is a little interesting. Originally, my deck had 2. I went down to 1. It was okay. It's 3 mana, get a random shadow card from another class, and it's already combined. So you're paying 3 mana to combine it, and then you have to pay full price for the actual spell. The spells are very powerful, and you can benefit through them with the Colossal in the Rogue deck right here, where it says your spells from other classes cast twice. So being able to Stolen Power into a Shattered card and then it casting twice when it already has an insane amount of value is pretty powerful, but it is a risk. We have the 4 mana 3/5. After you cast a spell, cast a random spell of the same cost from another class. This is very similar to the Mage card, that when you cast a spell, cast another corresponding card that costs 1 more. It's could be good, could be bad. It's one of those fun cards. Play it if you want, but it's maybe yes, maybe no. Nobody knows. Of course, if Herald deck, play the Herald card. This card, super juicy, boys. So this 5 mana 5/3, I weaved into our deck because it looked absolutely succulent. Battlecry, devour 2 random cards from the opponent's hand, which means it could be spells or minions, and then you go dormant for 2 turns, and then Death Rattle, return them. However, if this card never dies, they never get the cards back. So then I added some bounce into the deck, and then I was able to bounce this card with a 2 mana card, and then I got a 4/4 spider, and then I just replayed this card, and then I got to destroy 4 cards. And then I bounced it again, and then I got to destroy 6 cards. So I should just do this. Dude, we ate a Nixia and the dragon? Dude, that is so diabolical. So now it comes back, and I just bounce that bitch. I just fucking play it again. We ate a Dark Gift and an Infested Breath. I think this card is pretty powerful, but we'll see if it's too slow. for the meta to come, but I think this card is super cool. All right, so we have the Colossal, which is a 6 mana 5/5, and it says your spells from other classes cast twice, and then you get, when summoned, get a random spell from another class. It costs 1 less, and then as you herald, it upgrades. It goes from 1 to 2 to 4. And then, so obviously, if you discount, let's say like Fireball, you can cast Fireball twice for 0 mana, which is exceedingly powerful. So yeah, and it's a dragon, so you can do dragon synergy stuff with like Cloud Serpent or anything like that. But yeah, a 6 mana 5/5, 2 pieces that have a lot of tempo. You could also like go with the Imbue package, which is really interesting. This card obviously you play if you're playing Deathwing. And then we saw this card played a little bit. It's like a vanish for everybody. It's a 9 mana 4/12 dragon battlecry. Return all enemy minions to their owner's hand. Again, this card was played against me, and I had a Colossal on the board, and because the Colossal, when you play it, the pieces die and you get the Colossal back because it's the original piece that gets played. So while this is a big card, it doesn't have taunt. It doesn't have a lot of attack. It's expensive, and returning cards that have very strong battle cries or a Colossal, really not good in this, I guess, meta that we're in right now. So if this was cheaper or it was targeted, maybe better. But the way it is, it's maybe if it gets, you're playing against aggro, it's good, but against any control deck, this is not going to be good. And then of course, Deathwing is very good in the Herald stuff. So we played a good amount of Shaman today. We did some Herald Shaman with nature and the weapon, because there's a lot of synergy there. So we have the Ritual Power Herald, and then get 2 1/1 elementals with Rush. This is really, really good. The Herald, you get a 1/2. And it says adjacent minions have +1 attack, and then they upgrade. So this will be a 2/4 with +2 attack. And then the final one, it will be a 4, what is that? 6, 4, 8. And it'll give +3 attack. And then you also get elementals, because obviously if you put the elementals next to this card, they'll be able to trade in, and you can do some value trading, which is really nice. Plus it's a nature card. So I found the Shaman Herald to be quite board centric, very powerful, and you can pump some really good damage. So we have the 2 mana 0/3 taunt, and then it battle cries, and again summons the adjacent minions to +1 attack. So you basically get a 2 mana, and it is a 1/3 that summons a 1/2 until you get it upgraded, and then it'll do more than that, right? We have this card, the Crackling Cloud Strider. 3 mana 4/3, super powerful card if you have a spell in your hand that costs 4 or less. So it's choose a spell in your hand that costs 4 or less to absorb, death rattle, cast it. So for spells that cost 4 or less, we have this, which is a transform all friendly minions into ones that cost 1 more. They summon the originals when it dies. It's a little because they could just kill it last and it doesn't really matter. However, the most powerful is going to be the Clash, which is summon a random 3, 2, and 1 cost minion. So they kill that minion and you get 3 more. Remember, more minions, more adjacent minions, more damage. And then you also can run the... It's a 3 mana draw 2 cards, right? And then give them +2/+2. And then I found you could also run Farsight. So those are some good spells to work with this guy. Plus he's an elemental and he's good in stats and he has a lot of tempo. We have the Storm Binder, which is a 4 mana 7/7 death rattle. Unlock your overloaded mana crystals and then overload 3. So if you play him, you get overloaded. And if they don't kill him, then you're still overloaded, but he lived. And if they happen to be able to kill him, you don't have to lose out on tempo because you just unlocked your overloaded mana crystals, right? So not terrible card. If he lives, you're happy, and if he dies, well, then they used a lot of resources and you're not overloaded, which is pretty good. It's a 5 mana 5/5 battle cry. Give a friendly minion Mega Wind Fury. It can attack heroes. I did not see this card played. I'm sure this will be in some Mark Merck's OTK video sometime in the future. A lot of these cards are Herald cards. Ooh, we have the new Alakir, very powerful card. So we have the 8 mana 2/8 Colossal +2, so he has 2 appendages, and then Rush Wind Fury Battlecry. Get 2 minions with cost equal to this minion's attack. They cost 1. So this guy's attack is correlated to the appendages next to him. So if you're fully upgraded, these do +4, which means he's a 10 cost, which means you get 2 10 cost minions that cost 1. And obviously if you don't and they're plus, like, let's say 2, then you'll just get a 6 drop and then the corresponding 4 drop. So he can kill minions and he can also generate minions to your hand, which are quite juicy. So yeah, Alakir is quite nice. I found him to be super fun. This card's super good as well. The 9 mana draw 2 cards, cost 1 less for each time a friendly character attack this game. This works with your hero power and your minions, and especially when you have so many Rush minions that are attacking with the heralded card. Getting this to 0 mana by turn 5 is like pretty easy. So 0 mana draw 2 is very good. I can see this going to like 11 or 12 mana in the future. And then we have this card. I didn't even know this card was in the game. I've never seen this. 10 mana, 10/10. Battle Cry, draw a card and reduce its cost by 10. Repeat this with excess cost reduction. I don't even know what that means. Draw a card, reduce the cost by 10. Repeat this with excess cost reduction. You draw a card, and if it costs 3, it goes to 7. You draw a card. I understand now. Okay, so not bad. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I didn't even know this card was in the game, to be honest. I didn't even see him in the back here. Yeah, seems good. Seems cool. Big boy. Make some combos happen. All right, Warlock. We played an astronomical amount of Warlock today. It was super fun. We have the Curse Change. 2 mana, take control of an enemy minion until the end of their turn. End of their turn. It can't attack this turn. So you take this card, and if you're unfamiliar, the Herald cards generate things. Here, let's get to one. At the end of your turn, destroy the minion to the right, gain +2/+2. So you, for 2 mana, can steal opponent's cards, whether, let's say they just have taunt and you want to have it to the end of the next turn, or you steal it, it has death rattle, and then you herald, and then you kill it off, and you get the death rattle for that minion like it's yours. So very powerful stuff you could do with the herald. When you play or discard this, summon 2 random 1-cost minions. I don't really care. I don't play aggro decks or zoo decks. 2 mana, 2/1, Battlecry, Herald, Cho'Gall, and then Death Rattle, restore 3 health to your hero. This is really, really good. You summon the thing that kills the thing for 2 mana, and then you heal for 3, which is very, very, very powerful. We have a 3 mana, 3/6 taunt. Battlecry, choose a card in your hand to discard. Targeted discard. Depending on how powerful the discard stuff is and how much tempo can happen, I can see this being a problem sometimes later in the meta once it gets more refined. But a 3 mana 3/6 that's targeted discard when you have stuff like this can be really powerful. And there's also some big payoff cards later that we haven't gotten to. Rafam's Last Stand is a 3 mana, deal 2 damage to 2 random enemies and upgrades each turn. Originally, this looked really good to me, and I thought this was really solid. However, it's one of those things that you just wish this was another card in your hand every turn, and then eventually, like, yeah, you can kill stuff, but by the time, like, after 5 turns where this does 7 damage, you just wish this was some other card in the past 5 turns that did something other than kill stuff, because there's a ton of other Warlock cards that can just kill stuff. Like, maybe it hits 3 minions or something, but it feels pretty bad to have in your hand, unless you just get lucky, is from what I saw. Well, we have the 4 mana 2/2 rush, has +2 for 2 for each card you discarded this game. This can get this effect while on the board. Obviously, if discard is good, maybe that's good. We've got the Herald stuff. If you play Herald, you have to play this, and it works well because it's a location, which means if you play Cho'Gall, the big payoff card, you can click this and then immediately get another of the appendages to be able to discount or discard another card from your opponent's deck, which we'll get to. So Herald, Cho'Gall, and then draw a card. And then Cho'Gall, so we get to him. He is your arms and soldiers, destroy minions in the enemy decks instead of destroying the ones on the board. And then he summons 2 of them. So if you have 3 of these out with the location, you destroy 3 minions from your opponent's deck, and then all of your appendages get the +2/+2, +3/+3, or +4/+4. Herald, obviously, you run that in the deck. The Tentacles, I ended up weaving this back into my deck because there was a lot of aggro at the end. That's a 6 mana, deal 3 damage to all minions, and then repeat this with 1 less damage. We play like an Egg Herald Warlock when we're our Herald because they destroy the minion to the right. If we put like the big egg that summons the 20/20, we can do some diabolical shit there. So we're getting closer to the 20/20 while also buffing our minion. Tentacles is just good AoE. Obviously a Herald card. This is the big discard payoff card. It's a 7 mana 7/7. After you discard a minion, summon a copy of it. Again, I'm sure there's something that's going to pop up with this that's going to be good, especially with targeted discard. I didn't see any of that today. So we went over Cho'Gall, and then of course Deathwing. So heading into Warrior, we have Torch. Very, very good card. The 1 mana, deal 8 damage to a damaged minion. Return to the hand with any excess fire damage. You get the same card back, so you can use this as many times as you want until 8 damage goes to 0. So if you hit like a damaged minion that has 5 health left, you'll get back this with 3 damage on it, and it'll be the same 1 mana fire card. However, the card needs to be damaged for this card to work on it, which is, you know, it's a requirement, but it's very good. I like Torch a lot. And I also, it just says damaged minion, which means you can use this card on your own cards, which we'll get into shortly. It's a 2 mana, deal 1 to all minions, give your hero +3 attack this turn. Just a solid card. And again, has synergy with some cards we haven't covered yet. We have the Cataclysmic War Axe. Love the art on this. Love the art on this. Battlecry, Herald, Ragnaros, and it's a 3/2. It's a fiery War Axe that costs 1 more, but you get the Herald. And then the Herald for Warrior being the Ragnaros parts, and then those parts are 2/1s to start with. Death Rattle, deal 2 damage to a random enemy, and then as you upgrade your Herald, these become stronger. So the first 2 are 2/1s, and then they are 4/2s, and then they are 8/2s. No, 8/4s. No, 8/6s. They do a lot of damage. It's very good. Very fun. We have the Erupting Volcano, 3 mana, 3 durability, deal 3 damage, randomly split among all enemies. And then if you played a fire spell this turn, deal 3 more. This is a lot. It's a lot of damage. This is very good. All right, so we have another Herald card, 4 mana, 4/3, Battlecry, Herald, Ragnaros, give the soldier rush. The soldier having rush means it can trade in right away, so it deals 2 or 4 or 8. And when it dies, it does more damage to another random enemy, allowing you to make some really juicy trades on the board. So we got to the spiciest warrior card, in my opinion, in the new expansion. And a lot of decks were based around this. And we saw Clark Hellscream play against us. We gave him the win because I wanted to see what his deck can do. But this card right here, the 5 mana 3/3, after this survive damage, summon another Destructive Blaze, and then Death Rattle, deal 2 damage to a random enemy minion. So the fact it says it needs to survive, there is a lot of cards that deal just 1 damage, 2 damage to things. And then because it summons a full 3/3 back, you can use like Shell NATO. And with 5 armor, you can get like 7, 8, 9, 10 of these to die in 1 turn. And you can do a astronomical amount of damage while also having just a full board back. And it's very cheap to deal 1 damage to everything on your side. So this card, honestly, very cool, very powerful, and I'm excited to see what pops up. It's like Grim Patron kind of, but without attacking you, it's dealing 2 to you when it dies. We have the Last Stand. We actually cheekily use this in our random rogue. I don't think it's gonna be played, and maybe it's like Big Warrior, but it was randomly generated in our rogue deck, and it happened to work out because it popped the Colossus. But that's it. We have some 6 mana, deal 1 damage to all minions, improved for each minion on the battlefield. Obviously, we lost Brawl. Brawl's not going to be a thing for Warrior anymore, so this is kind of like a card that is AoE that isn't Brawl that makes us sad. Another Herald card that, of course, you play in the Herald deck. So this card, super interesting. 7 mana, 7/7 elemental here. Battlecry. Instead of drawing each turn, discover a card from your deck. It costs 3 less. Destroy the others. So big reward, massive payoff, but also some deck destruction. However, being able to handpick every turn and then the discounts, you can do some really interesting things with this card. And then that previous card we just took a look at, the Destructive Blaze. So you can set up some absolutely insane OTK turns. All right, Ragnaros. This guy, absolutely cool, super insane. You're playing in any sort of control warrior deck, or also just a Herald warrior. It's an 8 mana 8/8 colossal +2, so 2 appendages, and at the end of your turn, trigger your minions' death rattles. The death rattles being the deal 2 damage to a random enemy, but if you've heralded, these are actually 8 damage. So you actually do double 8, and then when they die, they do 8 more. And then if they don't deal with it at the end of each turn, they still do 8 each. And this also works if there's Herald already on the board or you summon additional Heralds. And it also just trigger your minions' death rattles, meaning it doesn't even work with just the appendages. It works just in general with any death rattle synergy on the board. So Ragnaros, fucking look at this signature, bro. This shit fucking smacks. Absolutely, dude. Insane looking card, super fun, very powerful. Warrior is looking really good entering the new rotation in year, guys. I'm gonna have a super fun time playing Warrior, and of course the fucking Deathwing. If you're playing any Herald deck, you're running the new Deathwing, and I don't even know how. Bro, look at that signature, dude. These signature cards, they pop the fuck off with signatures. It's expansion, like, dude, it's disgusting. It's just absolutely phenomenal. All right, so we're heading to do the neutral cards here. There's some good stuff in here. There's some not so good. I see fucking dude's Harpy's Feather Duster popping off in the background. What are you doing, dude? What are you doing? Got your blue duck? Yeah? I know what you want. I've been streaming too long. We'll play in a bit, bud. I gotta finish up. Buddy. All right, we have the Carrier Whelp, which was found in a decent amount of decks today. That's the 1 mana, 1/2 Battlecry. Get a random dragon that costs 3 or less. It lets you curve. Good. We have the Twilight Egg. Any sort of aggro deck, any sort of token deck. It's a 1 mana 0/2 death rattle. Summon a 2/2 whelp. Gains +1/+1 at the start of your turns. So the longer this egg stays on the board, the stronger the minion that comes out of it is. And there's a lot of decks that will just kill this egg anyway for free, gain a benefit, and then you summon a decent just minion out of it. The 2 mana 5/3 Battlecry freeze this. Never saw that played. Doesn't matter. We have the 2 mana 2/6 taunt, takes 1 extra damage from all sources. Doesn't matter. Never saw that. This card was actually, we saw it a little bit. It's a 2 mana 2/2 dragon. Battlecry, discover a spell from your class. Swaps classes each turn. You can do some diabolical stuff with this. And in the fact that it says discover a spell, you actually get to pick the spell, and you get to pick when you play it for the class that it rolls on. So you can do some interesting stuff with that. We have the 2 mana 2/3 battle cry. Choose a card in your hand, shuffle it into your deck, and you draw a card. I'm sure if it gets randomly generated, it's a card. We have the Warlock, battle cry your next Murloc that costs 3 or less, costs health instead of mana. Sure, it's a card with benefits Murloc. This is actually a really good one. So this reminds me of the 3 mana, what was it, 2/2 spell power +2. The spells can't go face. This is a 3 mana 3/4 battle cry. Choose a spell in your hand to give it +1 spell damage. Very good if the spell does a variety of things, like it hits face and hits a minion, or you can use this on the new, when Maxi Bond played this, he played it on the new Demon Hunter card that dealt 1 damage to everything, and then you draw a card for every card that died. He did it, and then it dealt 2 to everything. So it was like a blood mage, kind of like AoE, but you draw off every card dead, which is huge. Plus, it's a spider tank, so stats are good. This card's actually going to be pretty good in my opinion as well. It's a 3 mana 4/3 dragon battlecry. If you're holding a dragon, refresh 2 mana crystals. So it's a 1 mana fucking 4/3. Any sort of tempo dragon deck, I don't know why you wouldn't play this, but it seems good. I did not see this card a lot today, but every time I played it, randomly generated it off of like the Dark Gift guy, it was very, very good. 3 mana 3/3 elusive death rattle, transform a minion that killed us into faceless replicator. Don't care. Saw this card a bit. It's a 3 mana 3/4 battlecry. Choose a card in your hand to discard death rattle, get it back, it costs 1 less. I actually saw this in the warrior deck that summoned that 3/3 for 5 that when it took damage replicated itself, so you can discount it to 4, so you could combo off with it earlier. There's also targeted discard like this, so you could play this in the warlock deck. So it's a spider tank with targeted discard, and then you get the card back and also benefit from the card being discarded in the first place. Is kind of insane. So yeah, discard warlock, absolutely using this guy. He's insane. Gwen, yeah, so this card is actually interesting because No Hands played this against me with a quest priest, and he upgraded the starting hero power of priest, so it was a 1 mana heal 4 for the rest of the game, and he played it at 4 mana. So if you get this on turn 4 and you upgrade your hero power, you probably win. If you don't, then it doesn't matter. But the card seems pretty interesting. 4 mana 6/6, all enemies have taunt. Who the fuck cares? 4 mana 4/4 battlecry. Give your opponents a 2-cost tabletop cards. The next one costs more. Again, you can just randomly generate this. You never play this card. We have the 5 mana 4/4 at the end of your turn. Deal 4 damage to the enemy hero. You can play this in the Paladin deck that we talked about earlier. The end turn effects. So you can end turn effects, trigger twice, and then the weapon end turn effects trigger twice, and you can do 16 damage to your opponent with a 5 mana 4/4 if you're that kind of Paladin player. 5 mana 6/5 elusive taunt. Each turn this is in your hand. Swap between bonus random effects. Who the fuck cares? We have this guy, which is a 6 mana 6/6 battlecry. Of the total cost of your starting minions was 100. Split 100 stacks between all minions in your deck, meaning you basically split it 50-50. Mark Merks played this card against me and then proceeded to die, I believe, the next turn. I don't recall, but yeah, it's one of those cards that is like you're gonna do some diabolical shit with this, I'm sure, in some deck. 7 mana 8/6 death rattle, summon 2 random 4-cost minions. It's a card probably in arena. We have this card that got nerfed. Battlecry, destroy other cards 2 or less in both players' decks. They used to be hand. They nerfed this card because apparently Reddit was losing their mind. Okay, I personally don't like this card in general, but you know, it's fine. No one plays it. Bronze Keeper, 8 mana, 3/7 at the end of your turn. Summon a 6/6 elemental dragon with divine shield. It seems pretty good, randomly generated. I don't think you ever play that in your actual deck. We have Grand Giant. This is a 9 mana 8/8. This minion's cost is reduced to the cost of the last played card you played. I think this is actually insane. I don't think people understand this is a card yet, because you could just like play a 7 mana card, and then this is like a 2 mana 8/8, and you can just like, this also works the next turn. So let's say you play like a 9/9, let's say an 8/8 or whatever, and then the following turn you could just play this and then play another one. So they're like 0 mana 8/8s. I don't know if this works if you cheat a card out. So let's say you discount a card. Does it take the amount of the card or the discounted amount? But regardless, if you just play a big minion, you just follow that up with 2 8/8s for free. It seems really good. I can see this card being like very solid. Also, his signature art is kind of cool. And then we have the Survivalist. The 9 mana 6/6 has immune while you control other minions. I'm not gonna lie, this card, the Survivalist, has immune, Dude, what if you just like had 2 survivalists and then you just played this card with all spells and then you make like a 25-25 survivalist that's immune and then you just attack and win and never summon any other minions? I don't know. I'm not, it's not for that. But anyway, it's a card. You probably can do some diabolical shit with it. We'll have to cook. But anyway, yeah. So theory crafting today was super good. We saw a lot of decks. You guys are going to see all those games and decks. You need the total cost of your deck to be 100 though. That's fucking easy. Just, but yeah, we had a fantastic theory crafting day today. Hopefully you've enjoyed the review. All of our videos, it'll probably be 1 video every other day or every 3rd day. Let me take a peek. I'll take a peek just for you. Okay. I'll take a peek just for you. Okay. If the total cost of your starting minions, you're right. All right, never mind. Well, you play other minions that do stuff. This is, what is this? This is 18 of them. This is 18 mana. You're 1/3 of the way there, buddy. You're 1/3 of the way there. You could probably play this guy too. You're 2/3, you're 2/3, you're 2/4, you're halfway, you're 1/4, you're 3/4, you're 2/8, you're 2/5 there, dude. There it is. Yo, Syntax with the 5 gifted. Let's go. Yo, thank you, Syntax. That's very kind of you, my friend. All right, so that's going to wrap up the full review. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Like I said, all the videos will be coming out shortly, and we have the giant giveaway. So if you haven't, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe to the channel so you can be entered in to win a mega bundle and a standard bundle. I'll be picking 2 winners, and then I will give them out like a day or 2 before the new expansion releases. So with that, of course, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out. I'm Robert Warshack, and happy to the hell. There it is. All right.
How do I know when my spicy off-meta deck is cooking or it's straight garbage? Hearthstone Deck Tracker gives me all the data I need to be able to find, track, create, and play with the worst possible decks I can to Legend each and every month. From matchup spreads to historical data, I can see where my off-meta decks stand in any meta. Features such as mulligan guides, remaining cards, and turn counters provide information which helps you make the best decision each turn. So if you want to be better than me, go on in the description below, hsreplay.net, give it a free download.
Isn't that right, bud? That's a good boy. You downloaded HS Replay, didn't you?